and welcome to Meow Mix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Drunk Jerry. I get the
Uh,
request, I show up.
he's back. He's been so
Un-
distraught
uh,
over Shamar Bartholomew being cut
I
that
mean, come
he's been
on.
drinking
Come
for 2 days.
on. 2 days. 2 days. Shamar Bartholomew. He played like crap in the preseason. Why would you cut him?
All I have to say is rest in power, King.
He's on the practice squad. Don't worry. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. So we're going to talk about the 53. We saw a couple of, I would say really only kind of one surprise cut for me. We do have a trade as well to talk about. So it's been a very eventful couple of days for the Panthers.
Yeah, and I was going to say we could wait till today to record because I assumed we would have more waiver claims than we did just because it felt like this team needed some help on the defense and that they were going to feed it. Unfortunately, they did two. One on offense and one on defense, and one I really just don't understand, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, they didn't go hard on defense at all when it comes to waiver claims, but we do have a roster, and there's still possibilities out there of the Panthers adding someone else, but it really does seem like, let's just go ahead and talk about the Thielen trade real quick. Like that's kind of the big news.
Yeah.
I think you have what the particulars of the trade are, right?
Correct. The Panthers receive a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 27 fourth-round pick, while the Vikings will get Thielen and a conditional seventh-round pick and a fifth-round pick. I don't like this.
So it's essentially a fourth-round pick.
Yeah, that's what it seems like that, but it seems like we're giving up a lot, too. Like,
we all right. We gave up Adam Thielen. That's a lot.
Adam Thielen, starting receiver.
Starting receiver. A conditional seventh-round pick. I don't know what the condition is, but that to me is pretty much a nothing. It's probably like if he gets 1,000 yards or if he plays 17 games or it's going to be something like that. But either way, seventh-round pick I'm not concerned about. We essentially swap our 2027 fifth rounder for their 2026 fifth rounder. That's a wash. And we got a fourth round pick out of it. So essentially it is Adam Thielen for a fourth round pick, or at least fourth round value. That's what Dan Morgan was saying today. They got fourth round value for Adam Thielen. So I'm going to look at it glass half full, and then I'll let you tell us why you don't like it. But essentially, you got an aging receiver, he's 35 years old, last year of his contract. He wanted to go back and play the final year, 2 years, whatever it is of his career with the Vikings, where he lives, where it all started. He wanted to go back, and they got some value out of him. They cleared some cap space, which they'll roll over next year most likely. I don't hate it. I do think that the offense is worse without him, and that's a bummer. But you're going to get Coker. That's all they're talking about right now is Coker is going to step in and fill that void. So we're going to get to see what Coker is really made of. This was just to get younger.
I like Coker, don't get me wrong. But that being said, I always felt like Adam Thielen was the coach on the field for this team, and I don't know if fourth round pick is going to really solidify that absence. And not only that, he's been growing with these guys. Like, yes, he wanted to leave, and a disgruntled Adam Thielen, I don't think we would have gotten. Now, if we did, I 100% understand where everyone's coming from, but it's just like, that is a very risky slope to be on. Now, if he did want to go, like you said, and he requested it after signing a nice little bonus in the offseason for this year, which does go to them. I am very glad that they take the $7 million cap hit. The Panthers have 1.5, but they didn't do crap with it so far. That's when I was expecting them to go ahead and sign it. And they screwed up another wide receiver in the process that's probably going to go somewhere else because they wanted to keep some other guys that no one would have cared about. I'm sorry, Bryson. No one cares about you if you would have got cut. You would have been slid into the practice squad without a hesitation. David Moore, you were on this practice squad last year. You would have been fine. If someone would have picked you up, good. Get you out of this offense that desperately wants you some reason. Dave Canales, does he have pictures of your latest affair?
Okay. David Moore is not a bad football player.
No, he's not.
For what he's doing, we do not think he's having an affair.
No, I said he has pictures of Dave Canales in his latest affair because Dave Canales cheated on his wife and wrote a book about it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Calm down there, drunk Jerry. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're also talking about Hunter Renfrow being released, which we'll get to in a minute. But T-Mac, XL, David Coker, or Jalen Coker, excuse me, that's your core for the next, hopefully, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. David Moore, he's fine for what he is. He's actually the number one punt returner. He's also first string punt returner. Then you were able to keep Jimmy Horn Jr., which I was a little worried that he was going to be the guy that they cut. I'm glad they kept him. I like Bryson Tremaine. I mean, they just seem to like him.
I like Bryson
6'4",
Tremaine.
212. He's a big guy. They thought that he had more value than Hunter Renfrow, I guess. Again, I don't want to get into that conversation quite yet, but I will say, Adam Thielen, to your point of him being kind of the coach on the field, the locker room veteran, that is a loss. I truly think that is a loss. I would have preferred he stayed for this season. I think it's such a important season for Bryce that to have his presence, his reliability, especially on third down and fourth down, because it seems like this year, like everybody's just going to be going for it on fourth down all the time. So having that reliable presence there for Bryce is important, but it's going to give guys like Jalen Coker a chance to step up and show that not only do they belong on the roster, but they can fully handle the starting job. And Canales and Dan Morgan today were both talking about him in the slot. Kind of they're really excited to see what he can do. He could end up being a much better, option at that position than Thielen was.
I 100% love Jalen Coker currently. Like, I do understand wanting to go that route, but Jalen Coker has played better than XL. Jalen Coker has played. Why does assuming Hunter Renfrow needs to go make sense? When I think Bryson could have easily been slipped into the practice squad. I think David Moore could have easily been slipped. It feels like a malpractice by the GM. Because now he's on the radio for the past 2 days saying, "Oh, we loved Hunter Renfrow. We're still in talks with him. We're still in talks with him." Well, all according to everyone else on Twitter is other teams are interested too. Now, when you had him on a very cheap deal, he was a proven commodity, and you could have snuck one of the other guys down through practice squad way easier than Hunter Renfrow.
Okay, so this is now changed from a Adam Thielen conversation to a Hunter Renfrow conversation. I agree. I hate that Hunter Renfrow was released. I think it was not smart, especially considering who they kept on the roster instead. And I could even look at, some of the defensive side of guys that they kept. You could even look at somebody like James Mitchell, a fourth tight end that they decided to keep. I would have been more happy to have Hunter Renfrow than James Mitchell. And I like James Mitchell. I actually thought he was going to make the roster, and I'm glad he did.
I think he deserved to make the roster. I guess my biggest frustration is with the trade is like a fourth round pick is nice. and I get wanting to move on. I don't like the coinciding move that they made. If you already had this in the bag or were expecting to do this, you keep Hunter Renfrow. You don't keep Bryson, or you don't keep David Moore, because Hunter Renfrow fills that mature former Pro Bowler in the room to help the young guys out. He wanted to be here, and then
he wanted to be here. I don't think you can overstate that. This is where he wanted to play. This is what he told his agents. If I'm going to play this year, I'm playing for Carolina. Now, maybe that's changed as he's kind of gotten in. He's seen that he does still have it. I guess Canales just talked about inconsistency for the reason that they didn't want to keep him. Now, he did miss a whole week at least, and maybe a little more with was it a hamstring or some sort of soft tissue issue?
I'm going to call BS on that. Straight up, Dave Canales.
So why didn't they want him?
I don't think they want a short receiver. Point blank. They saw Bryson at 6'4". They claim another receiver that we'll talk about who's 6'4".
Delevon Campbell.
They draft T-Mac at 6'5". They get rid of the 6'1" Adam Thielen. Hunter Renfrow was 5'10". Yeah, he's gone. I'm sorry, but Canales, you're narrow-minded in your receiver. I love the fact that we drafted Jimmy Horn Jr. I loved having such a solid route runner out there in Hunter Renfrow and Adam Thielen. I love the versatility that these receivers had, and it feels like Canales just wants what he's familiar with and he's worked with and good with, and not like being versatile with them. I agree. I like having a big guy. I think T-Mac is good, but I also like having that small guy, which Jimmy Horn Jr. blows the top off. Great. Where's your supreme route runner with great hands?
Coker. Like that. That's who they want it to be.
But why would you not have a backup?
But I agree with you.
No, I get it. I'm not arguing you. I'm just arguing
David
my point.
Moore. I mean, is David Moore... I think he's got pretty good hands. I've seen him make some tough catches. He's not overly fast.
He's not a good route runner. He's a mediocre.
He's not a great route runner. Yeah, he's mediocre. Yeah, I would just much prefer to have Thielen or Renfrow, probably, than David Moore. Even though I understand why they want David Moore. Like maybe they're looking at him as the veteran guy in the locker room.
Who's done what?
Had as much. Yeah, I was going to say he hasn't had as much success, but by all accounts, he is a good locker room guy. He does know the system. He can probably teach, the younger guys. But I do agree. And as you alluded to, Dan Morgan has publicly said that they are talking with Hunter Renfrow. They do want him to come back, although he would not specify if that was to the practice squad or to the active roster.
Yeah, he said he's been keeping in contact.
Kind of makes me think that they would just want to bring him back to the practice squad. Which if I was Hunter Renfrow and I had other options on active rosters, I wouldn't come back here just to be on the practice squad.
I wouldn't either.
If I wanted to play.
Me personally, I think Dan Morgan overplayed his hand with Hunter Renfrow.
I think so. I think you're right. I think he overestimated maybe just how much he only wanted to be here.
100%. And I think Dave Canales underestimates the ability that he could have on this team as a receiver to help Bryce. Because that's my biggest fear. My overall arcing worry is he doesn't have that reliable receiver anymore. I think Coker is now our most reliable receiver on this roster.
We haven't really seen T-Mac yet.
You're right.
T-Mac has excellent hands. That's what he was drafted for.
That's what he's drafted for, but he's still a rookie and unproven.
He is.
And now we're, at least with Hunter Renfrow, I felt like, again, we're moving on from Adam Thielen because he did want to go. But Hunter Renfrow has great hands. He is not a physical specimen at all. He looks like a middle-aged gym teacher at 25 years old when he came into the league. But he gets open. He makes those catches. He makes those yards. Like, that's... And I think Bryce really would really rely on that type of player, which he did in Thielen. Now, T-Mac, I hope he is that. But we don't know yet. I hope Xavier Legette can become that. I hope Jalen Coker is what I think he can be at his best, which is great route runner who can also stretch the field, who makes plays, who's very smart on the field. I think that's what I saw last year, and I think a 17-game season, he could be a 1,000-yard receiver. But all that's unproven. Dan Morgan, you are risking your career, your GM career on this. Because if it fails, T-Mac fails, you're gone. Bryce fails, you're gone. Just the way that it is.
Maybe. Now, Bryce, remember, Bryce wasn't theirs. They inherited Bryce when they came in, he and Canales. So I could see Tepper giving them an opportunity with a quarterback of their own. That being said, this is the most important year that your franchise has had, since 2015? In terms of...
I think 2017 is when Cam's shoulder kind of blew out, and I would say that year.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like in terms of importance.
I would say that was, because that was also the year that Tepper took over. 2017 or 2018.
So we'll say that then. But even still, this year you're hoping clarifies a lot of things. Number one being, do you have the franchise quarterback? And to take what was the strength of our team in the wide receiver room and to get rid of, at worst, your third best receiver in Adam Thielen, likely your second best, and then to cut the perfect replacement for him if you happen to trade him, which the talks have been ongoing for at least through the weekend, right? And likely before that. It just, I think I agree with you. I think that they cut Renfrow figuring, well, if we do end up trading Thielen, we'll just get Renfrow back. And that may not happen.
No.
Because Renfrow has options.
Yeah, he's the Carolina Panthers Micah Parsons, where you did him dirty and he wants to walk. I
mean, maybe. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. He could just have... he could have an offer from the Chiefs. Like, he could have offers from
that's actually a very good,
teams.
very fun prediction for him. That's
sure. He could have an offer from the Raiders. He may, he also said the Raiders were a team that could play for again. So he could have an offer from them.
And Pete Carroll's a different style of coach that he didn't have to deal with. So,
if I was him, I would be interested in playing for Pete Carroll.
I would be too.
That he's not as fast as like Tyler Lockett was, but I could see him doing some of the same short fieldage or short field type routes. It could be anybody. Like, he could have offers from playoff teams and be weighing that against his desire to be around home. And now that he's kind of had a training camp underneath him, he sees that his health is there. He's gotten hit a few times. That desire to play may be stronger now than it was when he first came in here. So who knows? Who knows what the reason is? But I will say, I'm not discounting the fact that he might just be pissed that he got cut and felt like he wasn't given a fair shake.
Yeah,
that could very well be the case.
I could see him being like, dude, I was better than 3 of those guys over there easily.
And they were talking him up all camp. Like, every press conference, it seemed like Hunter Renfrow, so good.
Not only that, the other players were. J.C. Horn said he was uncoverable.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Legitimately
so
said
so
those
Dave
words.
Canales and Dan Morgan go into the room as like he may be uncoverable, but he'll come back. No. Let's keep this undrafted guy, Bryson. I hate bringing that because that dude really worked his butt off. But like, let's be real. I would prefer Hunter Renfrow than Bryson on this team.
I don't know. Bryson, who knows?
Here's another one.
I haven't seen enough of him.
Let's move on to the Panthers' claims. The Panthers claimed through the waiver wire Damari Mathis, cornerback out of Denver, and they claimed wide receiver Delvon Campbell, 6'4" guy from South Carolina, undrafted guy who had a few good catches in preseason. Again, Dave Canales has a rocket ship in his pants for tall receivers. That is what it is. That's all he cares about is your height. It's back to Kelvin Benjamin probably could be on this team again. I'm joking, obviously, because he's 400 pounds now. But come on.
I don't have any problem with a bunch of tall, fast receivers. I have no problem with that. Like that's a quarterback's best friend. And Lord knows Bryce needs as many friends as he can. So this to me is not a conversation as much about who they claimed, because I don't have any problem with who they claimed. I think that taking shots on guys like that is perfectly fine, and I'm happy to see them doing it. He has a type. He wants a tall receiver core. He wants his tight ends to be tall. He wants his cornerbacks to be tall. And I guarantee you, if he gets a chance to draft a quarterback, that dude's going to be 6'3" at least, if not 6'4", 6'5". That he likes height.
Yeah. Now the cornerback, I really do like the pickup. I will say that his best year was with Evero in Denver. Solid guy, could play, especially adding depth. I think he's really a quality add. And Delvon Campbell, again, I don't want to knock a guy, as these guys are really, just like anybody who was released this, past cut day. Look, dude, I may knock you, but this is your dream, and I hate being that negative towards somebody not making a roster, but that's what this is. But I don't think this was, I guess my biggest problem is I felt like the front office really kind of messed up the route that they should have taken. I see a route they could have taken, which would have garnered all the players they coveted, and they didn't take it. They took a different route.
Yeah. Delvon Campbell's best season in college, 31 catches, 594 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, honestly, I watched his preseason highlights, and I'm throwing it up, and he contested catched it. Okay, that's great.
I believe,
But he wasn't fast. He wasn't a great route runner.
He's tall.
Tall.
That's all you need.
Tall.
For Dave Canales. I think he played 5 seasons in college too, at least, if not 6. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I could see this guy being cut immediately if Renfrow says he wants to come back. Like, I don't think Delvon Campbell is long for the roster, but we'll see. Do you want to let's run through the other cuts real quick?
I was just gonna go through the 53 man if you want.
Well, let me. I just want to pick out like 2 or 3.
Okay.
So we'll just first say off the bat, nobody that we waived got claimed. Not a single player got claimed.
That does speak volumes. And now, again, some veterans do not go into the waiver wire like Hunter Renfrow, but
right. But no one that we dropped got claimed. So Chris Barnes, the linebacker that we signed.
Yeah.
I think he might have been a waiver claim, right? I don't remember, but however we got him, a few weeks back.
No, we signed him. But yes, we signed him that was a big cut in my eyes. I thought that his veteran starting experience would have kept him here, but Okay.
Again, their strategy is they're going young and for better or for worse, essentially. And we hope it's going to be for better. Shamar Bartholomew, we mentioned earlier, started camp as I would say probably the third corner.
A third or
Did not
fourth, yeah.
impress.
I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on how you rated Chow Smith Wade.
Yeah, did not impress. And then we mentioned Hunter Renfro. So those were really kind of the ones that jumped out at me. Honestly, other than Renfro, no surprises really. I guess you could say Chris Barnes may be a surprise, but yeah. Do you want to discuss the other signing that we had? He wasn't necessarily a waiver claim, but Hendon Hooker, now the new Jake Plummer.
Oh yeah, I have all
Jack
the
Plummer.
practice squad guys
Yeah.
ready.
But Hendon Hooker, let's just talk about him real quick because he's obviously the one that we'll talk about the most here. How do you feel? Former Tennessee quarterback, a little long in the tooth, but he's got
I
some
like
skills.
it. I liked him coming out of college. I really did. I thought that injury kind of derailed his draft stock because he only had one good year in college. But
He was still a second round pick, right? Or was he a fourth round pick?
oh, he was like a fourth, or he was a later round pick. And I thought he landed in a really good spot in Detroit because you knew, Jared Goff was entrenched at that point. Shocked he didn't stick around. That makes me worried that he doesn't have the work ethic or he doesn't have the overall skills to make it work. I mean, he may have been just a gimmick quarterback in Tennessee, but I'm glad he's here because Jack Plummer showed nothing in preseason the past 2 years, so it's time to move on in another project, in my opinion.
Yeah. See, Dave Canales, one of the things he likes about him is he's a big, strapping guy.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
He is 6'3", 220.
Shocking.
Oh, man. He is also local. I think he's from North Carolina.
Yeah,
he's from Greensboro.
I like the signing. I like the adding to the practice squad. That is.
I love the fact that we replaced Jack Plummer, who was never going to
He was never anything.
amount to anything, to at least I don't want to say younger because Jack Plummer's probably younger, but a less experienced NFL quarterback, who showed promise in college. And I agree with you. If he wouldn't have got hurt, he very easily could have been a fringe first round pick.
Yeah, I would say more like late second round, somewhere
Maybe,
where you.
But he was SEC Player of the Year. In 2023, 2022? He's a really good college football player. So yeah, I like that. But if you want to talk about the rest of the squad or go to something else, whatever you want.
Real quick before when we claimed the waivers claims, since we had the trade, we did have one open roster spot, and then they had to release Jamie Clemedy. I can't say his name.
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia.
Jalen Crumedy.
And he cleared waiver claims, so no big deal there. But former draft pick last year, didn't make the roster this year. Now, practice squad guys: Aeneas Smith, wide receiver; Hendon Hooker, as mentioned; DJ Dallas, a running back; Shamar Bartholomew, cornerback; Kalen King, cornerback; Trevian Thomas, safety; Sam Roberts, defensive line; Chris Barnes, linebacker; Brandon Walton, offensive line; Boogie Barsham, outside linebacker; Jared Harrison Hunt, defensive end; Mike Tarkin, offensive line; Jarrett Kingston, offensive line; Maz Mawanza, linebacker; Bryce Pierre, tight end; Jasim Reed, wide receiver; Mike Reed, cornerback. Basically, guys who were released by this team the other day just signed back to the practice squad, minus Hendon Hooker.
And DJ Dallas.
Yes.
DJ Dallas, wasn't he with Seattle? So he may have been there when Canales was there. That could be why they brought
Could
him in.
be.
Yeah, I'm sure I've had him as a running back fill in fantasy a time or two over the last few years when Kenneth Walker's been out or something. But yeah, so okay. I mean, practice squad, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Nobody really like other than Hendon Hooker. I'm not in love with anybody on the practice squad, but DT Dallas, that's an okay. I mean, he's a veteran running back who, if ETN or Rico goes down, they could bring him in and he should be able to provide something. I don't hate that.
I have
But
4.3 yards per carry. Spent 3 years in Seattle, and then last year in Arizona. It doesn't seem like he's really played that much.
no, I think he's a perfectly average backup running back. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at this point, practice squad guy, no problems with that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do we want to run through the 53 here real quick?
The 53-man roster, because that's what
So
everybody
let's.
joined this stream for 2 days
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. How do you want to do this? You want to go, one of us go offense, one of us go defense?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. I'll start. I'll go with offense. So quarterback, Bryce Young, Andy Dalton. No surprises there. Running back, Chuba, Rico, ETN, and then they've got Jonathan Brooks listed here, but obviously he's out for the season. Wide receiver, T-Mac, XL, and Jalen Coker listed as the 3 starters. Then David Moore, Jimmy Horn Jr. Thank God he made the roster, by the way. I was honestly legit worried that they were not going to let Jimmy Horn Jr. or that they were not going to keep
I mean,
him,
he's
but I'm glad they did.
5'9" or so yeah.
Right. That was my main concern. Bryson Tremaine and Delvin Campbell, who we've already discussed. Tight ends, Jatavion Sanders listed as the starter. Tommy Trimble, Mitchell Evans, and James Mitchell, who, again, we've already discussed. Your offensive line, no surprises here. Icky, Damian Lewis, Austin Corbett, Robert Hunt, and Taylor Moton. And then their backups are Christensen, Zavala, Cade Mays, and Josh Nijman. So it feels like they could maybe look at another backup offensive lineman here.
Especially a tackle. Like if Yosh Nijman gets in there, I am terrified for Bryce's future. No joke.
Yeah.
Like Bryce doesn't.
But by the way, go ahead.
I was like, Bryce can't deal with getting hit constantly again. That just it's bad.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be able to perform if he keeps getting hit. And dangerous sign here is Icky actually had an appendix removed, I think yesterday.
I didn't miss that.
They're hoping that he'll be ready for week 1, but typically I think with an appendix you're
at least with that, Christensen,
at least a couple of weeks.
At least Christensen should be able to step in if he can't go over Yosh. Yeah. I mean,
but big season for Icky, so I hope he is able to play and plays well. All right, that's the offense.
Defense. Defensive line, no shocks here. Ashawn Robinson, Tershawn Wharton, Derek Brown, then Bobby Brown Jr., Cam Jackson. Yeah, solid group now this year. Sure. Hopefully they keep moving on. Shy Tuttle was released. I mean, he just didn't perform. Linebackers, Trevin Walsh, Christian Roseboom, an inside linebacker. Patrick Jones and DJ Wanamaker, your starting outside linebacker. None of those are surprise.
Nope.
Continuing on, Claudin Sherless and Ban Martin Scott, who was kind of a shock to make the inside linebacker, but he did play well in the preseason, and all training camp notes that he had a good one. So hats off to you, Bam. Good making the roster. Outside linebacker.
He's an undrafted rookie.
Yeah. Princely, Nick Scorton. Then you go to Thomas and Kuhn, another guy who had a very good training camp and preseason. Mm-hmm. And DJ Johnson, for some reason, who has pictures on Dan Morgan's wife or him. I don't know.
Yeah. He was the one I was referencing that if we cut him, I would not have been sad.
I mean, what is
Cut
he
him,
like?
keep Renfro. You know,
Is he like 30 years old and has jack dip for us? I mean, he was
he's
a
26.
I'm gonna still say 30, and hasn't done any because he came out of college older for Matt Rule, and he just
He was a little older. Plus, he had just punched that guy. Yeah, his career has not gone well. I'm actually that is probably the surprise of making the roster for me.
I don't understand that. Cornerback Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn, then Akib Evans, Chow Smith Wade, Corey Thornton, and the guy I just mentioned. He's not on the Carolina Panthers website as on the roster, but
Well, congrats to Corey
Damari
Thornton.
Mathis. Yes. Rightfully deserved, in my opinion, from
absolutely.
the preseason.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And safety, Trayvon Moreg and Nick Scott is still listed as starters. Don't understand
Your boy, Nick Scott.
I just don't understand it, man. Damani Richardson and Latham Ransom are the backups. And again, Richardson and Ransom played better in my eyes than Nick Scott.
Yeah.
Let the younger guys play.
One of them. Yeah. I would say. I watched the latest blueprint, which, by the way, those are just so good. The Panthers, they do such a good job with the blueprint. Everybody loves Nick Scott. Like, just watching the defense interact with each other, everybody loves Nick Scott.
That's probably why he's still up there.
Must be such a good guy. Yeah.
That's probably why he's still starting.
So there a little bit of news here. I guess Ryan Fitzgerald did win the kicker job. So rookie, was it Florida State, right?
Yep, Florida State.
So we'll see if that lasts. I know that they are still actively looking to improve that area of the roster, but hey, I'd be fine giving him a shot.
Oh, me too.
Sam Martin, punter, no surprises there. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Fitzgerald seems like a gamer. Like, from what it hears, is his practice is not the best, but every time he's stuck in the game at Florida State and stuff like that, or in the preseason, he seemed to really knock him down. So I'd prefer to at least see a gamer over a practicer.
Sure. I mean, he made the big 52-yarder in the preseason, so I think that probably sealed it there. But yeah, so congrats to him. David Moore, punt returner number 1, ETN and then Jimmy Horn Jr. behind him. Then kick returner Rico Dowdle, David Moore, ETN, Jimmy Horn Jr., and then JJ Jansen's the long snapper. So that is the 53. Again, couple of surprises positively, couple of surprises not so positively, but I think in general, I look at this roster and I think the same thing that I've thought since February or March or April, maybe after the draft. I feel like our starters
solid
are pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. A lot of young guys, a lot of unproven talent, but potential is pretty high. I feel like our backups are generally not very good, not impressive. And it seems like a lot of our backups are more of kind of the veterans that haven't done a lot with their careers. And we do still have some young guys as backups as well, particularly the rookies that we drafted this year. But I don't know, man. I think this roster has a lot of potential. It's going to need a ton of coaching. So we're going to learn a lot about the future of our franchise this season.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and David Moore, please return a punt return so you can shut me up. Because
David Moore's going to come out and catch 90
dude,
balls
he is
this year.
built. I don't know if you've ever seen like a picture of him like in training camp and stuff like that, catching a ball. Oh my god,
he's a football player.
He is freakishly well. I mean, Hunter Renfrow.
The David Moore
like
hate has gone too far. It's gone too far.
I just don't. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna.
I understand. It's like who would you rather have? Like I get it. I get it.
And I am so sorry. I forgot to read the voicemails and the text line. I will do that upcoming. I screwed that up.
Yeah, we don't want to. We're not going to waste that here at 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We will play that first thing, and it kind of sucks. 'Cause I think at least one of them is pretty topical. Um, but Jay, thank you for your voicemail, and Keo, thank you for your text. And if I'm forgetting anyone else, I haven't checked the line in a few days, so I will go back and do that.
Yeah,
But
sorry
yes,
guys.
we'll do that next.
Yeah,
next episode.
this is a very busy week for me. It was my birthday, fantasy draft, child just drove me up the wall with, going to school and yeah. Sorry.
Sure. We spent the weekend at a nice cabin in Sevierville. That was a lot of fun. I don't remember a ton of it, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I remember most of it. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah. A lot of fun. But yeah. Fantasy draft, I know people probably don't care about that, but
I killed it.
Are in a long time fantasy league, keeper league. We should really do a Meow Mix league next year.
We should.
We've talked about it before, but we should do that. If anybody is interested, if you're still listening, and you would be interested in playing like in a Meow Mix fantasy football league in 2026, we're not going to do it this year, but let us know. Let us know if you have interest. Be happy to put something like that together. All right, Jerry.
Oh, you threw me off guard. All right, again, our text and voicemail line is 980-494-0071, and we'll typically show them on the air, minus if Drunk Jerry's in charge of the lineup. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMixPodcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can also email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. Leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We need help to grow because we suck at it.
Congratulations to America's couple, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, for their beautiful display of love, companionship. Longtime listeners of this podcast will know that I am a big Taylor Swift fan.
He's a
I don't
Swiftie.
care.
He's a Swiftie.
Don't care. I do not care what any of you think. I like Taylor Swift. Folklore is an amazing album. But I will say that I think, I think they're going to work out. And I'm excited for them. And I hope that we have a little Swift Kelce baby running around pretty soon. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So everybody out there, stay safe and keep pounding.
Hey, I wish them the best too. Love is love.
Love is love.